The 2025 season is here. Novak Djokovic is still beating Gael Monfils. We've got women's action. We've got drama with Rybakina. Musetti's got a new haircut. And loads more on Game to Love.
Happy New Year, tennis fans. That's right, 2025 has begun and the tennis gets started straight away. They didn't even wait for the new year. They started the tournament in 2024. It went over into 2025. They don't have any time to have any celebrations. No booze for the tennis players. But we've had some great celebrations in the UK and yeah, mate, it's another year of the podcast. I feel like now we've gone a whole year round again, and that is 5 years for the podcast now. I think if we do a few weeks in this year, that is 5 years on the dot.
Yeah, it's gone so fast. I mean, the journey's been crazy. COVID towards the beginning of that journey, and I think it changed a lot of it. Before, we was only doing podcasts in person. It showed us a new way of doing podcasting completely, with us both doing it online. And tennis has changed so much as well. I mean, when we started, we was watching Roger Federer still he was at the end of his career, but he was competing in slams. Djokovic is still here doing amazing things, but Nadal was winning a lot of slams as well and doing some amazing things. So it's been a whole change in terms of the hierarchy in tennis. But we're not here to talk about that. Let's talk about 2025. And like you said, the tennis has started. There's been quite a few events going on. So on the men's, we've had Brisbane in Australia. We've got Hong Kong. We've got it's not the ATP Cup anymore. It's the United Cup. So that is different countries representing themselves. You've got on the women's, Auckland, Brisbane as well, and the same United Cup. So a lot of tennis, a lot of the big names in action. We've not seen the likes of Carlos Alcaraz yet, but I know we've both got him as world number one. Some of my wild card picks from the prediction video we did for 2025 have been performing. And a refresher, for those who don't know, Joao Fonseca on the men's and Polina Kudermetova both starting this season amazingly well. And I think you're in trouble, mate.
Yeah, I most probably am. But you've gone with a couple of safe picks there, close to the top 100.
I believe they were lower ranked than your ones.
Tried and tested players on the tour.
Lower ranked players than you.
Gone a bit more out there, as I always tend to. A bit more risky, but that's where the fun happens. You don't want to be predictable in this game. But one thing that is predictable, a good little segue, and it is Novak Djokovic defeating Gael Monfils. Unfortunately for Gael Monfils, it wasn't to be at the 20th time of asking. We met Gael Monfils only a month ago. We sat with Gael for the second time and we chatted to him. And he was in great spirits. And I feel that in exhibition tennis, he really, really does come to life and makes the crowd lifted. This match, I thought he actually played pretty well in spells, and he had Djokovic running around the court. But we knew he was going to win before it even started. It didn't even need to be played, this match. You may as well just told Gael Monfils, you're going to lose this one in straight sets. I don't think he ever had a chance. Unfortunately, we love you, Gael, but I thought he looked a little bit older at the UTS this year, despite some good performances. And the injuries are there. The dancing wasn't so much there this year. He said, I'm feeling the body a little bit more. But Novak Djokovic, he's just warming up, I think, and looking to add a title to start the year.
Exactly that, and it was only going to be one result. Novak Djokovic defeating Gael Monfils, and that is the record, 20th consecutive times. And another record is the time between the first match and the second. They now have that record as well. So Novak Djokovic and Monfils played their first ATP match in 2005 at the US Open. There's been 7,066 days have passed since then. And this is now the record for the longest time span between the same head-to-head. So second, you can see Andy Murray, Stan Wawrinka, which was only last year. That was broken. Djokovic, Nadal, you'd expect that to be a long one. But that's in fourth. You've got Nadal, Gasquet in third. This one, you never know. I feel like we're probably going to see another match. So this record may be extended one more.
Yeah, and I think the one thing to take away from this, and this is what I was thinking while watching that match, is you've got to really give it up for Gael Monfils as well, because both of these players are 38 or 37. Djokovic 38, Gael Monfils, I think that's right. But or maybe 38 and 39. I can't remember now off the top of my head. But they're in the back end of the 30s. They're close to 40. And the fact that Gael Monfils is still right up there and still competing and still beating a lot of the other players on tour in tournaments. I think
you're going too much on Monfils. He's not right up there.
Well, he went to 3 sets with Jannik Sinner last year. Not many players could have done that. And the fact that he keeps on coming up against Djokovic means he's doing all right in tournaments. And that's the one caveat for Gael Monfils. He's never beaten him, but he always seems to be in the mix. But, I mean, is that enough? I mean, he came off court. He just looked a little bit dejected, but he's shaken Djokovic's hand 20 times now and been the loser. So he had match points in one of them at one point. But, yeah, this one, it was just a really comfortable victory for Djokovic. And Djokovic, I wouldn't say he's looking older. I think both players looked a little bit older, not running for as many balls as they normally would. But Djokovic, a lot more dynamic, a lot more clinical, and he doesn't try anything too fancy like Gael Monfils, so he's not using up needless energy. Just gets it done. A bit more bread and butter for Djokovic, this one. How about this?
The most lopsided ATP head-to-heads. Djokovic, Monfils, 20-0. Well, you've got Gasquet, Nadal, Borg, Gerolaitis, and Federer, Ferrer, and Federer, Usny.
Wow, look at that. We got 18-0 and 17-0, 17-0 and 17-0. I mean, the Federer Ferrer one, I wasn't aware of that one, if I'm perfectly honest. That's a bit of a shocker.
No, that's a famous one. I think we've even done this graphic many times before on the podcast. Not this specific one, but we've gone through this a lot of times, especially when Gael Monfils plays Djokovic. I think we did it on 18, 19, and now we're doing it on 20.
I think he probably feels like the Homer Simpson going into the hedge after all of these matches. Gael Monfils probably just stays away from tennis Twitter. He doesn't want to see all the statistics being brought up again.
Well, I'm sure he doesn't talk about it on his YouTube channel, that's for sure. But let's move on. We'll stick with Djokovic, and he played doubles with Kyrgios. You watched the match.
Yeah.
What was your take? I didn't see it live.
I thought I watched the first one, and I thought it was thoroughly entertaining, and that's the main reason that we saw these two together. I said he's going to win the first match, go out in the second match. I didn't think they'd both be so close, though. 10-8 they won in the first match in the final set breaker, and they lost to the number 1 seeds in the doubles in the second match, 10-8 in the final breaker. I mean, Kyrgios is just having fun out there. There was the point of the match where he did two tweeners in one rally. Eventually lost it, but you saw the one that he did in the first match where he did one and then they won and then he ran around the court. Djokovic was chasing him. I like it. This whole thing started the year with such a bang. I like the positive energy. I like the fact that when these two are together, they're actually having a lot of fun on a tennis court. And this is what we need. And it's bringing a bit of fun to doubles as well. It brings a bit more eyes on the sport. Obviously, when Kyrgios won the Australian Open with Kokkinakis, that was probably the biggest doubles in recent years that we can think of. These singles players, when they play doubles, you've said it, it brings excitement to the doubles.
Yeah, I'm not so big on this as you are. I hate to be a Debbie Downer with it all, but Djokovic coming to the end of his career, it just screams exhibition-like tennis. I don't think it's that serious. He's not a doubles player. He's purely doing it just for a bit of fun. And there's nothing wrong with a bit of fun, but it's not the top end of the sport. It's not.
Is it disrespectful?
I like to watch the ATP tennis tour for some of the best tennis and the thing. And I like Djokovic when he's playing his singles, doing his thing, competing in Grand Slams. This is great, but it's got its own place. It's a UTS. It's an exhibition. It's not real serious tennis. And I'm fascinated by this because clearly Djokovic and Kyrgios have well, become good friends, considering they started on such a bad foot not too many years ago. I wonder if now we're going to see Djokovic create a little bit more of a rivalry with Jannik Sinner, since he's got so close with Kyrgios. We know Kyrgios' views on Jannik. I wonder if Djokovic maybe joins Kyrgios a little bit, and Sinner and Djokovic have a greater rivalry. Is there a little bit more needle there? We'll wait and see.
Well, I'm very, very happy that you've brought that up, because it was something that was playing on my mind a little bit a couple of days ago. And there's part of me that thinks, you know, when they're obviously going to be posed the questions in all of these interviews, press conferences, that type of thing. I think Djokovic now, he is starting to go with the Kyrgios narrative a tiny bit, not all the way. He's still being respectful, but it's enough to just say, like, I'm just going to try and unsettle you a little bit, Jannik, and I'm going to say just enough to put people on your back, to give you a little bit more pressure.
If he really didn't agree with what Kyrgios was saying, he wouldn't pair up with him with doubles, in my opinion. We know Djokovic does have to be very careful with PR, like a lot of the top players do.
Yep.
He's doing that I feel like that is a conscious move to move on to that Kyrgios camp, and it may unsettle Sinner a little bit. I'm interested by that more than them playing doubles. Them actually playing the doubles, it's not serious. I'm sorry. I don't think they're going to go and win things.
No, it's fun.
It's purely just a fun exhibition. Let's move on to Nick Kyrgios, because he obviously wants to play competitively this year. He spoke out last year, very unfortunate with some bad injuries he's had, but he wants to win a Grand Slam. He's motivated. He's not here just to make up the numbers. He doesn't want to be just that fun character what people watch at Wimbledon to get deep into a second week and then go out. He wants to go and win one. He's got to a final now. Can he do it? It's not looking good to start of the year, because he got injured and now his wrist is playing up. Is he going to be a doubt for the Australian Open? Will he play? We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
I don't think he's pulled out, has he?
No, he hasn't pulled out, but this is, well, as we know from Dominic Thiem, wrist is one of the worst possible injuries that you can sustain, and it's hard to come back from. So rest is the only thing you can do. Hopefully it's not too bad, but you saw he lost his singles match with Mpechi Pericard. I mean, I said it was going to be a serve bot contest. If you like serving, go watch it. I think that there was about 50 or so aces in that match, and it was all tie breaks.
Yeah.
So, I mean, well done to Pericard, though. I think he is an exciting young talent on the tour, and yeah, I mean, Nick Kyrgios, at least he didn't have to do anything much more than serving in this match, and now he can go rest his wrist, and hopefully we see him fresh, because I want a Jannik Sinner, Nick Kyrgios match at that Australian Open, and I think that's the one match everybody wants in tennis right now. We need to see it.
Sinner will demolish him. Sinner will absolutely demolish him.
Quite possibly, but I want it for the spectacle. I want to see how much you can get the Australian crowd on his side, and I just want to see it for the spectacle that it is, because it is going to be one of the craziest atmospheres I think you would ever see in tennis if those two meet.
Yeah, you mentioned Mpechi Pericard. He's having a fantastic week in Australia. Maybe a player who can knock on the door of the top 10. He's serving so good. I'm not sure how good he is on clay. I don't know if you know much about his clay form.
Nah,
but
not much.
Definitely can transpire this game onto the grass courts at Wimbledon. The serve's so good. And he was asked after beating Francis TFO today, do you remember the first time you hit a 200 km/h mark and how old you were? He said maybe 10 years old. Absolute beast of a serve. And that's why we're going to see a lot of serving, a lot of aces. The difference between him and some of the historic big servers like the Apelkas, the Isners, the Karlovic's, is I feel like he's got a little bit more game.
Yeah, I like I like the fact he's a single-hander backhand as well.
Yeah.
It's like it's quite refreshing, really. You don't really see too many of them coming like from the younger game, I don't think, these days. And his one's quite an interesting technique as well. Him playing against TFO, it was really sort of opening up a lot of angles for him. Has a good one down the line, but he looks very controlled on it. He doesn't look like he really wants to do like a Musetti where he just lets it loose. He just tries to control it, place it. And yeah, I mean, if he opens the court up, I mean, with that serve, he can definitely just place a nice winner. I think he's an exciting prospect. Seems like a lot of fun, and yeah, really good for French tennis. They seem to have a few good young players these days, like the Italians.
Yeah, and he's certainly one of them, but not as good as my young gun. He's so good. You've missed a trick with Fonseca, Ben. So just to remind everyone, you picked who? Lerner Thiam?
Yeah, I think that's right.
So we had to pick a player outside the top 100. Ben went with one on the fringe of the top 100. I went a little bit further than him by a few places. João Fonseca is the name. Fantastic player. And he started the year so good. I mean, I don't know if you want to bring up some of his results. He's looking very dangerous. I hope he goes on and wins this challenge where he's playing at the moment. And then after that, we'll speak about some of the women's, maybe in the women's segment of this podcast, because she's not doing too bad either. And the match we're going to be having, this is what I wanted to speak about, in the early hours for the UK, so in about 3.5 hours for us, is Jacob Fernley, João Fonseca. I think that's a really tight one. There's not going to be much separating them.
JF versus JF.
The Brit versus the Brazilian. I hate to say it, Ben, I'm going for Fonseca, the boy. If he can beat Fernley, that tells you everything you need to know about the level of this guy. And you never know. He could be doing something even better than we ever expected. Is he going to break the top 20 this year and do something magical? I believe all he has to do is make top 40, and then, I say it's quite a tough thing to do, but if he does make top 40, I'll definitely beat you, because Lerner Thiam, what does he do? Is he a hard court player? I think that's about it.
Mainly hard courts.
Bad pick.
This Jacob Fernley, though, I think this could be the race between these two, if I'm perfectly honest. I think these two are very well matched up, and Jacob Fernley I think you're going for Fonseca here as well, because he just beat Chris Eubanks in his last match, I think, Jacob Fernley. I think it was quite a close one. I think it was a 3-setter, but just goes to show, Eubanks not too long ago was doing well in Grand Slams, and now you see he's down to the challengers, and Jacob Fernley's taking him out, but I rate Fernley very, very high. Unfortunately, he was inside the top 100 already. I think he was something like 99 or something ridiculous like that. So he was out of the selection process. So unfortunately, but I'll be cheering him on. He's a Brit I'm very, very excited about. And hopefully we can see him close to the top 40, if not top 30. Maybe a seed at a slam at some point.
Yeah, nice. It's a really real big shame about Lerner Thiam. Hopefully he does come good for you. But
how's he doing at the moment? I've not even had a look.
It looks like 3 days into the year, Ben, or 2 days and a bit. 2 days and 7 minutes for us in the UK. It's been a real stinker from you, but we'll wait and see. Plenty of time left to go.
Cam Norrie, it's not too bad. He's playing in an actual ATP event as well, not one of these like measly challengers. Look at him go. God, one day Fonseca will get into those ATP events. Don't we? He has to wait for the clay courts to come round, probably.
Anyway, on to the women's. Let's have a look. Let's talk about the women's. So my women's pick start of the year was Polina Kudermetova. Very young, 21 years old, fantastic talent. And she's been playing some really high-profile players. I'm talking top 10 players here, Ben. No, this Cam Norrie nonsense. And winning. Wow. Not just playing them and winning. And it seems like it's another gem, maybe one who can, like I said with Fonseca, if she gets top 40, guaranteed to beat you. Can she even make top 20? Can she do a Diana Snyder of last year? I hope she can. Look at her go already. Qualified for Brisbane, beating Sharma and Son Mez, then beat Wang, Samsonova and Kudermetova. What a pick. And Kasatkina. What a pick.
There you go. So that's all of her points for the year done in 1 week. No, you never know. She might have a good year. She's obviously the younger sister of the other Kudermetova. But maybe she'll carry the flame for the family. We don't know. This is just a good start to the year. Remember how well her sister was doing when I had her to win the Australian Open a couple of years back? That didn't quite play out.
So can we just see her ranking at the moment, Ben? Just to give everyone a reminder. 107. So not really a big risk in terms of ranking. And you went with who?
Pretty safe. Can't even remember the name of the one I went for. See, it's a bit riskier. You've got to go a bit more out
So
there.
you don't even remember your one?
21 years old, your one as well. Tried, tested.
Who's yours? You don't even remember?
I can't think of this. Jovic, I think her name was. Is it
There
Eva
we go.
Jovic?
That's right. The US,
How's she
the US talent. Has she been playing?
I don't know. Has
She packed
hasn't
up and learned the
yet.
team?
Nah,
Packed up.
School holidays are still out on at the moment, so she's not back until probably Monday. So the 17-year-old, going to be an exciting talent for the future. I'm excited to see where she ends up. She's already at 189 in the world, miles down the rankings. I mean, if she cracks the top 100, that will be something. But someone exciting for the future. Let us know how your wild cards are getting on so far this year. Have they played yet? Or are they like me? Just giving them a head start and then they'll catch up a little bit later.
Yeah, I'm very excited by my wild cards. Very, very excited.
I like this because I'm going to be able to clip all of these when they've fallen off in about March.
Someone I'm not maybe as excited about, and someone I've gone quite big on my predictions was with Elena Rybakina.
Yes.
I think I've got her third, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right.
You had
eighth,
sixth or eighth, somewhere
Seventh
quite
or
low
eighth,
down. Yeah, in your rankings. So I'm clearly a bigger fan. I feel like we're going to get a better season from her. However, some big news has broke, and it's something we need to speak about. So a few months ago, she got a new coach, Goran Ivanisevic, of all players and people. What a legend! He's moved over from Djokovic, and he replaced Stefano Vukov, who is the coach Rybakina parted ways with in August, and that was due to some kind of scandal. I don't know all the ins and outs, but there was that. Do you remember that at the time?
Suspended, wasn't it?
Yeah, she was calling for him to never be a coach again. Some inappropriate stuff going on. 4 months later, she's just got a coach, and then got rid of him and got Stefano Vukov back again. Something dodgy is going on. It feels like a bit of a toxic relationship. Are they dating, these two? Is it like in and out? I don't know. It's very strange. Like I don't know all the ins and outs. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section.
Steady
But one thing I would say is it doesn't fill me with much confidence with the start of the year. If she's chopping and changing coaches like this, and she's just gone back to someone who she's just called to be out, for me it's a very unstable move.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know where to go on this. It's the more indecision and more ups and downs. I don't know whether she said she's really she said, "Hello everyone, I'm excited to announce that Stefano will be joining my team for the 2025 season. Thank you all for the support." There was another post as well. Oh, it's the same one as well. Okay.
Yeah, but it's all very like blunt. There's not much to it, and it's created a lot of speculation.
Yeah, I mean,
there's a lot of unknowns, like always with Rybakina.
She is the lady, like the ice queen of mystery, I would say, on the WTA tour. No one quite knows what goes on behind closed doors. She's very cool and calm on the tennis court, but maybe everything's not so cool and calm off court. And this was my big worry when making the pick. I think she is clearly top 3 if everything's going right. But I just am not convinced by all of the like crazy things that go on off court with her. And the fact that we don't know about any of them, that makes me even more like scared, because at least if I knew, it's only this little thing, then I might be like, okay, she can easily turn it around. But it seems like there's there's an undertone of something bigger going on. And it does worry me, because I think that she's very likable and very, very, amazing tennis player. I want to see her perform at her best, because she beats the likes of Iga and Saber on her day. Will we see her day again?
She started the year okay, results-wise. 3 matches in the United Cup, beating Bouzas Manero, Maria Sakkari, and Siegemann. So that's all been straight sets as well, so not drop one. Not the highest of opposition. I mean, Sakkari a few years ago was quite good, but not a bad start to the year for her. And this is the United Cup. I'll let you go through it. So Poland, Great Britain. We saw Iga, Katie Bolter today. Bolter taking the first set. Yeah, I can't say too much against her. I think good match from what I saw of it in the highlights.
And big congratulations as well to her. Obviously, recently engaged to Alex de Minaur. Yep. So congratulations to those two really likeable tennis players on tour and a really likeable couple. So well done to Katie. She seems to be improving all the time. To get a set off of Iga, especially early in the season when everybody's fresh as well, I think that spells really good things coming into the Australian Open. I think she has a lot of confidence. Obviously, we got smashed by Poland 3-0. That was terrible. On the other side, USA doing well. They knocked out China as well by the same score. And we're still waiting for Italy versus the Czechs, which is the most interesting one out of all of them, isn't it?
Big head-to-head between me and you. You're a big Czech fan. You've got Mukova, you're flying the flag of. I've got Paolini. And I think they're playing in 6 hours' time. So hopefully Paolini can get the job done. I would like to see Italy, USA. But yeah, we'll keep you updated on the next podcast for our thoughts on the United Cup.
Yeah, exactly. The semi-finals will commence very, very soon. Other news on the men's side. I don't know how big the news is, but if you're a big fan of hair, then it is massive news for you. And it is, oh my word, Lorenzo Mussetti's hair has disappeared. Is this going to change a lot for Lorenzo? He's probably looked at some of the other tennis players on tour and thought, what do I have to do to change things up to be better in 2025? The hair's gone. It's not going to be adjusting it, not going to be flicking it out of his face anymore. It's just going to be nice and short.
He is a big flicker, and it does frustrate me sometimes. Not that I don't mind him doing it. It irritates me for him. I know what it's like because when my hair gets quite long playing tennis, it is a bit of a pain. So hopefully it helps him and he can focus more on what's going on without having to keep flicking his hair about. I think the reason he did it, he said it was for his girlfriend who made the decision to cut it. Long hair became a bit annoying to dry.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, I only ever had long hair once and it was during COVID and I just thought, why not just let it grow for a bit? But then I realised when you try and go for a run and when you just have a shower, everything, it just annoying.
It is annoying,
It just really just takes long to dry. And when I was trying to run, it was at the length when you couldn't even tie it back, so it started flopping everywhere. I don't want to wear hair pins or clips. I mean,
not a little Alice
it wasn't
band.
for me. Well, I wasn't aware of them back then. You've shown me the way since, but now I've got shorter hair, so it doesn't really matter to me anymore. That's some massive news. If he suddenly starts winning everything, then we know it was all to do with the hair.
Yeah, there's been a few changes of tennis brands as well to report on.
Yeah?
Are you going to bring it up? I'm waiting for it.
That one? Tennis brand.
Don't worry, I'll read it out. So, notable 2025 clothing apparel switches we have so far. We've got Hubie Hurkacz moving from Yonex to Adidas. Grigor Dimitrov, Nike shoes to Adidas shoes. Is that a sign he's going to be moving to Adidas? Robin Montgomery's gone from Fila to Nike. I can understand that. They're sort of banking that she's going to be one for the future. And TFO is rumoured to be going from Nike to New Balance. And I like that for him as well.
Yeah, I think that does suit him down to the ground, actually. Quite like that one, the last one. Hubie Hurkacz. He's an interesting character as well this year, because I don't think either of us have put him in our top 10. And for somebody who was always a really consistent player on the tour, I'm really surprised, because if he has just a normal year, he'll easily be in the top 10. But yeah, we both haven't gone for it.
I think he'll fall just outside.
Dimitrov, are the shoes going to help the footwork? don't know. I mean, he did so well last year. Changing those shoes may change everything.
I feel like Grigor's always been with Nike, so it would surprise me if he moves completely. I don't know if this is 100% like true. If it's just the shoes, I mean, he might just be early season wardrobe malfunction or something. So let's wait and see with that. But the Hurkacz one's quite a big one. Yonex to Adidas. I've always associated him with Yonex, so let's see how it goes on for him.
And obviously, Dimitrov, he was top 10. Somebody else who made it into the top 10 for the first time was Alex de Minaur. And not only top 10, he will now be a top 8 seed at a Grand Slam event for the first time in his career. He won the UTS. He got loads of money. He was like, God, I got so much money. I'm just going to go and propose to Katie with all this money. Had a great Christmas on the beach. And now he's top 8 seed in a Grand Slam. Doesn't get any better, does it? Life for Alex de Minaur.
In Australia, as an Australian. We've both got him inside our top 10, so this should help him avoid some big names earlier on. And let's hope he can keep pushing on in the slams. He was helped, obviously, with Rublev going out. So that is a big news as well. He lost to Marazan off the top of my head.
Yep.
Who had played a really good match. I saw minimal points, to be fair. I saw the match point and some other ones as well. Marazan looked dangerous, like really dangerous. So de Minaur, one to watch in Australia. Let's end this video with just have a look at the WTA race, and we'll save this one. I'm gonna do a separate video on this one. Let's end the video on the WTA race. Why not? I'm just interested to see who's performing the best so far in 2025. Only a few days in. It's my wild card. She's top of the rankings. You've got Iga in second, Sabalenka in third, tied with Andreeva. And what a start to the year for the 21-year-old JG's wildcard, Polina Kudermetova. She is top of the race. She's already got 133 points already. Wow.
Wow, that is incredible. Now, screenshot that, because that's the first and last time she's going to be anywhere close to that spot. If she does better than that, obviously, well done to her. She's having a fantastic start to the year. But can Iva Jovic just start her year with a bang too? Can she do well in a slam or two? I sincerely hope so.
Let's have a look at the men's out of interest as well.
All right, one sec.
ATP race. ATP and we'll see how far Fonseca's up there. Hopefully near the top again. It's got to be there.
Is this really?
No, he's not. So, right at the top, we have...
I should have gone for Ethan Quinn.
Is this actually it?
Yeah, apparently so. Looks strange, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's no names we're really expecting here, I must admit.
Damir Juma. Before.
We've got Hadi Habib doing all right at the moment, and Ray Sakamoto, 18-year-old. The one that got away.
Cool. Ethan Quinn there in...
Is Fonseca anywhere? Scroll down a little bit. He's got to be somewhere.
Landaluce's there in 18. Fritz.
There he is.
Oh, there he is. There
30.
He is.
What a start to the year for him.
Let's go down. Let's keep moving. Lerner.
There's Djokovic.
He's ahead of Djokovic. Doing well. Yeah, I mean, there's quite a few. I mean...
I don't think Lerner's got going yet.
Yeah, Lerner's. Like I said, they give your guys and girls a bit of a head start. They'll start picking up the pace come about March, April time, I reckon.
There we go. That is our first podcast of 2025, giving you a bit of a roundup and some of our thoughts of some of the action. I'm very pleased with how it's played out so far. A little bit worried about Rybakina, but fascinated to see the whole Sinner / Kyrgios / Djokovic beef and rivalry. I want to see Ben Shelton thrown into the mix. I want to see him drawn against Djokovic. I want to see him play the saxophone like Djokovic has been doing. I just need some. I need some beef. I need some drama. But I want it in a single setting. I don't want all this nonsense in the doubles, playing exhibitions. They're not trying to win it. They're not that good. You do. What about the Australian guy, Max Purcell with Kyrgios and all of that?
Oh, yeah, true. That was a little bit of beef. But yeah, I have seen a few rackets get smashed as well on the side of the court in doubles too. But yeah, let's keep it to the singles. I want to see some drama too. And these tournaments, we're heading into the business end. Can Djokovic start the year with a bang? I sincerely hope so.
Thanks for watching. Make sure like and subscribe. And let's go. Elena Rybankina.